Blood Moon Chronicles Chapter 2 The Thirst. The emergency room at St. Mary's Hospital usually had its own particular brand of chaos: broken bones, heart attacks, car accidents. But tonight was different. Tonight felt like something from a nightmare. I could hear it before I even pushed through the double doors, the screams muffled behind closed curtains, the frantic footsteps of nurses and doctors who moved with an urgency that wasn't normal for this shift. "Rhonda, that you?" called out Dr. Richard Chen from the triage desk, his usually calm demeanor replaced by something bordering on panic. He was a man in his late 40s with kind eyes and steady hands, but tonight those hands were shaking as he scribbled notes onto a chart. "I got your text about the strange cases," I replied, approaching him cautiously. "What's going on here, Richard?" He looked up at me, his face pale under the harsh fluorescent lights. "It started about an hour ago. Patients coming in with unusual injuries." He gestured toward the curtained area behind him where muffled groans could be heard. "Take a look." I pulled back one of the curtains to reveal what awaited inside. What I saw made my stomach turn. A young man, couldn't have been more than 22, lay on the gurney, his arms strapped down with leather restraints. His skin was clammy and pale, except for a series of deep puncture wounds on his neck that wept dark crimson fluid. But that wasn't the worst part. The nurse attending to him, Linda something, I thought her name was, jumped back as the patient's eyes suddenly snapped open. They weren't human eyes anymore. His irises had bled to black, with only a thin ring of yellow around the edges, and they fixed on me with an intelligence that seemed almost feral. "Help me," he whispered, but his voice was all wrong, too guttural, too deep, as if something else were speaking through him. "Make it stop." Before I could react, he strained against the restraints, his muscles bulging unnaturally. One of the leather straps snapped like dry spaghetti. Linda screamed and backed away as the patient sat up with terrifying speed. "Get back," Dr. Chen shouted from behind me, but it was too late. The young man, if that's what he still was, lunged toward me, his mouth opening to reveal elongated canine teeth that hadn't been there moments before. I stumbled backward just in time as his jaws snapped shut where my throat had been. "What the heck?" I exclaimed, my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. "What the hell is happening here?" Dr. Chen rushed forward with a syringe filled with something clear and viscous. "Ketamine," he said, injecting it into the patient's neck. Within seconds, the creature, there was no other word for it now, collapsed back onto the gurney, its body twitching violently before going still. I stood there shaking, my breath coming in short gasps as I tried to process what I'd just witnessed. That wasn't human. Dr. Chen wiped his brow with a trembling hand. "We're not sure what it is." The first few patients came in with puncture wounds similar to animal bites, but then they started changing, growing claws, fangs, their eyes turning black. It's like something out of a horror movie. Just then the automatic doors slid open and Officer Dave Miller stumbled inside, his uniform torn and bloodied. His face was ashen except for two angry red wounds on his neck that oozed a thick dark liquid. "Miller." Dr. Chen rushed to help him. "What happened?" I don't know, Miller stammered, his voice barely above a whisper. I was patrolling the old part of town when something attacked me from behind. It moved so fast, and then there were these eyes. His gaze drifted to the patient on the gurney, and he paled further. Is that what I'm becoming? Before anyone could answer, Miller doubled over in pain, a guttural growl escaping his lips as his spine twisted unnaturally. Hair began sprouting across his body, coarse black fur that covered him in seconds. His hands contorted into paws with thick claws that shredded the fabric of his uniform. Get back, I shouted, grabbing Linda and pulling her away just as Miller lunged forward. The transformation was complete within 30 terrifying seconds. Officer Dave Miller was now a hulking wolf-like creature with yellow eyes that glowed with malevolent intelligence. Dr. Chen grabbed an IV pole and swung it like a baseball bat, connecting solidly with the beast's head. There was a sickening crunch of bone, and the thing stumbled back momentarily before shaking its massive head as if to clear it. Rhonda, Dr. Chen yelled, the silver nitrate solution in cabinet 3. I fumbled with the lock on the medicine cabinet while keeping one eye on the creature that had once been Officer Miller. Its yellow eyes never left me, and I could hear a low growl rumbling from its chest. There it is. I pulled out a vial of clear liquid that shimmered slightly under the lights. Got it. Dr. Chen grabbed it from me just as the beast charged again. He threw the solution onto the creature's fur, which hissed and smoked where the silver nitrate made contact. The beast howled in pain, a sound that seemed to vibrate through my entire body, and stumbled backward before collapsing in a heap. Stay down, Dr. Chen warned, keeping a safe distance as he watched the thing twitch on the floor. Whatever it is, silver seems to hurt it. Just then, the emergency room doors burst open again and Mike Anderson stumbled inside, his face pale and eyes wide with shock. He took one look at the transformed Officer Miller and the unconscious patient with fangs and paled. What the hell is going on here? He asked, his usual bravado replaced by genuine fear. Glad you could join us, I said, trying to keep my voice steady despite my racing heart. You remember Officer Miller? Mike's eyes widened as he took in the hulking form of the werewolf, if that's what it was. On the floor. What happened to him? And who's the guy on the gurney with fangs? Dr. Chen explained about the strange cases coming in over the past hour, each with similar puncture wounds that seemed to trigger a transformation into something other. Vampires and werewolves, Mike said, running a hand through his hair. You've been watching too many movies. I wish I had, Dr. Chen replied grimly. But these things are real, and they're getting stronger as the night goes on. As if on cue, Officer Miller's eyes snapped open again, now a burning yellow that seemed to pierce through us with malevolent intelligence. Time to go. Mike grabbed my arm and pulled me toward the exit just as the beast leaped from its prone position. Maybe we should call for backup. Dr. Chen shook his head grimly. Who are you going to call? The supernatural cleanup crew. Besides, most of them are probably occupied with whatever else is out there tonight. As we ran down the hall toward the main entrance, I could hear the howling and snarling behind us growing fainter as Dr. Chen presumably tried to contain the creatures. Where now? Mike asked as we burst through the emergency room doors into the night air. I don't know, I admitted, looking around at the eerily quiet streets of our town under the unnatural crimson glow of the blood moon. But wherever we're going, we'd better be prepared for more than just fang and claw. Little did we know that something far worse awaited us in the shadows ahead. Well, that's it for today, folks. Please stay tuned for the next installment of Blood Moon Chronicles, 7 p.m. Central Time. It's been a real pleasure. Oh, by the way, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you soon, my friends.